There are all kinds of performance horses. This miniature is learning to be a guide horse. She's taking her blind owner for one of their first walks together. And this overhead obstacle is a test for her, which she passed beautifully. She took her owner out away from that sign, stopped perfectly at the crosswalk, and now she's going to take her across the driveway, take her around this stop sign, and she's been given the command to find the car, which she is going to do absolutely beautifully. And all of that work has been taught with the clicker. We began with her training the way we begin with all horses. We taught her to touch targets. This was her very first day in training, and we're just using this foam pool noodle to get her introduced to the concept of clicker training. Her training began like most other horses, but then it took some interesting twists and turns. So we taught her some things we wouldn't normally be teaching, such as getting in a car. So actually this is trailer loading miniature style. And here she's really trying to get in this car. It's just she doesn't know how. And what I'm doing is offering her my hand as a target for her to touch. And she's just trying to figure out what to do with all of her legs. And there she finally figured it out, and click, she's going to get a big jackpot for that. We also taught her to go up and down stairs. And here she's doing some of her early lead work. And I'm teaching her to stop at curbs. So that every time we get to a curb crossing, at this juncture, I would stop her and click, and then give her a treat, so that she began to associate curbs with a place to stop and also a place where she got reinforced. The key to guide training is really being consistent. And if we took that into our big horse training, if we just thought of our horses as with that we needed to train to the same standard that we train the guide horses, our big horses would have far fewer problems. What you're about to see is some of her early obstacle training. I'm going to take advantage of this telephone pole. I asked her to go forward, and she went around it, thinking I would too, but I ran into it, just said whoops in a great loud voice, and sort of did a silent movie slapstick run into the telephone pole. And this time when I asked her to go forward, she steered me around it, and I clicked and reinforced her for it. This is downtown Boston, and this is 3 weeks into her training. She's a 10-month-old foal at this point, and look at how she's already processed obstacle training, how beautifully she took me around that traffic barrel. And here she's going to stop at a curb. Note also the focus she has. She's 10 months old, and even the traffic of downtown Boston doesn't bother her at all. This coming up is a really interesting obstacle. This was Panda's very first experience with overhead obstacles, and I asked her to go forward, and she could go under the chain, so she went under, no problem for her, but I ran into it. So I repositioned her, and the second time, look what she did. She reaches up, she touches it, but I asked her to go forward again. She tried to go forward. I again ran into the chain, and now I'm going to represent her again. And on her third try, I asked her to go forward, and this time she took me around it, so she gets a big click and a treat for that. And this is the beginning of what we call intelligent disobedience. Let's listen in for a moment to this training session. Good girl. Good girl. Over left. Good girl. There. Good girl. Forward. Aren't you good? Aren't you a good girl? Find the stairs. Good girl. Good girl. Wait. Forward. Good girl. Panda, find the stair. Good girl. Wait. Forward. Forward. Good girl. Good. Find the door. Aren't you good? Now what's important here is that Panda signals me when she's come to a stare. You're very good. And that she's going to wait. Wait. Panda forward until I give her the forward signal. Good girl. Panda forward. Wait. Forward. Good girl. So with the stairs, Panda is telling me, she's giving me a cue. Good girl. And we'll just see what she does here. Good girl. Panda over left. Good girl. Forward. Good girl. Good girl. Very good. Panda over right. Very good. Find the car. What a good girl you are. What a good girl.